Learning English doesn't always need to feel like school. You don't need long grammar explanations or boring vocabulary lists. What if learning could feel like watching a movie or listening to a friend's crazy travel story? That's the power of storytelling. When you hear real situations in English, your brain picks up grammar, vocabulary, and sentence flow without stress or memorizing. That's what this video is for. Before we jump into this spicy story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to LingVerse, and turn on notifications. We share new stories every week to help you learn English in the most natural and entertaining way possible. Now, get ready for a hot one. The heat in Bangkok is something else. It wraps around you like a blanket and never lets go. Jason had arrived in Thailand a few days earlier and was slowly adjusting to the rhythm of the city, colorful, noisy, fast, and full of surprises. He had already visited a few temples, taken a riverboat, and tried a Thai iced tea that was almost too sweet to handle. But one thing he hadn't fully experienced yet was Bangkok's famous street food. That changed one night as he was walking through the Sukhumvit area. The air was buzzing. Neon lights flickered above him, motorbikes zoomed past, and the sidewalks were alive with vendors, tourists, and locals. The smell of grilled meat, garlic, fish sauce, and chili filled the air. Jason wasn't even very hungry, but when he saw a woman flipping something on a small charcoal grill, he felt drawn in. The food looked simple, thin sticks of meat, brushed with a shiny sauce. He pointed, smiled, and gave a small thumbs up. The woman nodded and handed him a skewer. It was hot, fresh off the grill. He paid, stepped to the side, and without thinking, took a bite. The moment the food touched his tongue, it felt like fire. Not because it was spicy. He hadn't even gotten to that part yet, but because it was boiling hot. Actual steam hit the roof of his mouth. He tried to pull back, but it was too late. The soft skin inside his mouth had already taken the damage. He quickly waved his hands and started breathing through his mouth like a dragon. His eyes widened. His tongue felt betrayed. He swallowed too fast, and then he coughed. The heat from the temperature had already hurt him, but then came the second wave. The spice. At first, it was a warm tingle. Then it became a slow burn. Then it exploded. Jason could feel the chili hit every part of his mouth. He tried to stay calm. He looked around. People were walking past, eating food, talking, living their lives. Nobody else seemed to be in pain. But Jason felt like he had just kissed the sun. He needed something to cool down. Fast. He spotted a cart nearby with bottles of water. He rushed over, pointed, and handed over some coins. He opened the bottle and took several deep gulps. For a second, the burning eased. Then it came back even stronger. The water had just moved the chili around. He stood there, breathing like he had just run a marathon, holding a half-eaten skewer in one hand and an empty water bottle in the other. A nearby tourist gave him a sympathetic look, the kind that says, "Yeah, I've been there." Jason slowly walked away, the inside of his mouth still sizzling. He found a small bench near a shop and sat down. After a few minutes, the pain started to fade. His tongue was numb. His lips felt puffy. But he was also laughing at himself, at the whole situation. This was part of travel, he realized. Not just the photos and temples and tuk-tuk rides. It was also about tiny mistakes, unexpected burns, and learning the hard way that not all food should be eaten straight off the grill. Later that night, when he looked in the mirror back in his hostel room, he opened his mouth and saw a small white spot on the roof. A burned blister. He shook his head, smiled, and said to himself, "Next time I'll wait." But deep down he knew he wouldn't, because the adventure, the surprise, the story, that's what made the trip real. And while his mouth was still healing, his English got sharper. Through Jason's spicy mistake, you just picked up so many useful phrases. He took a bite. He waved his hands. The pain started to fade. He needed something to cool down. These are natural expressions. You didn't even need to memorize them. You understood them in context. That's how language learning should feel. Fun, meaningful, and full of flavor. So if you like this story, hit that like button, subscribe to LingVerse, and turn on notifications. And now tell us in the comments, have you ever eaten something way too hot or spicy? What happened? We can't wait to hear your stories. See you in the next one.